Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 12, Chapter 11, Drastic Overhaul, Part 1 of 2. Builders of future India, patrons and well-wishers of educational institutions. In this holy land of ours, education is straying today into wrong directions and encouraging wrong notions and patterns of behavior. You are all aware of this trend and its consequences. The sooner we set things right, the better for all concerned. For whether the students master the curricula or not, whether they understand, appreciate, and assimilate the culture of India or not, the years roll by inexorably. Time rushes past with no possibility of return. The span of life allotted to each is undergoing subtraction every minute. Therefore, delay in this matter of reform is unpardonable. The years spent by these persons as students in schools and colleges are the most crucial years of their lives. The heart of youth is pure, clean, full of enthusiasm and optimism. They are eager to achieve happiness, to enter upon an adventure, and earnest to serve others. It does not involve much effort to direct them along beneficent channels. Of course, with equal ease, they can be directed along maleficent channels too. The educational system must decide to direct them to the achievement of the divinity latent in each one. Striving towards such a goal is an essential step for ensuring social, national, and world peace and prosperity. Student life must be filled with cooperative activity. Humanity is like a train full of passengers moving in one direction. Some alight at the Little Halt. Some get off the station after that. Some alight a little further off. But young persons travel longest. So intensive care must be accorded to the problem of their education. Their lives must be made happier, more full of activity and contentment, more useful to the human community. And this can happen only when the divinity in them is allowed to blossom. The nation is looking forward to these young men and women to realize its dreams of unity, integrity, and prosperity. These bright young people have to confer confidence and courage, joy, and enthusiasm. But judging from the nature of the students today and from the patterns into which they are being molded, one feels that the hope of the nation might not be realized. The coming years might witness the decline of the fine ideals of Indian culture cherished through the millennia. Beautiful, fruitful ideals must be planted in the tender hearts of the youth. They are lovely creepers which can yield clusters of fragrant flowers, spreading the fragrance of truth and virtue. They have to be fostered with love and care by parents, teachers, and all those interested in the progress of the nation. It is a sacred responsibility which cannot be bypassed. The years of student life must be saturated with cooperative activity, social service, eager search for truth, and readiness to sacrifice one's interest for the good of those who are less fortunate must be a part of their young lives. Moral and spiritual values have to be honored as much as, if not more than, economic and material values. Life must be a harmonious blend of these values with emphasis on moral strength. Education must fill students with self-confidence. Students, embodiments of the divine Atma, soul. There is a great and urgent need for you to deeply explore the question, who exactly are you? You should realize that you are divine, so that you can raise yourselves to that level instead of remaining merely human, or degrading yourselves into the lower level of animality. What exactly are the degrees which you earn now after such elaborate and exhausting studies? These degrees are only begging bowls which you can hold while presenting yourselves in front of an office, then going from office to office seeking jobs. Education does not fill you with self-confidence, self-reliance, and self-knowledge. How can parents, teachers, and elders give you these virtues when they are themselves suffering from their absence? Since they do not have these qualities, the country is in the throes of poverty, faction, and sloth. Imbibe knowledge in schools and colleges with your minds fully engaged in the task, with your hearts welcoming the acquisition, and with your souls fully concentrated. Do not try to achieve distinction through expenditure of money. How can money bring you knowledge? Yet the temples of the goddess of learning, namely the schools and colleges, yet today the sacred temples of the goddess of learning, our schools and colleges, have been transformed into places where the goddess of wealth is worshipped instead. Saraswati, the goddess of learning, is described in the Puranas, ancient legends, as the rival of Lakshmi, the goddess of riches. They are both as unfriendly as the proverbial mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. How can they be together in the same home? So Saraswati has been practically driven out of her temple, and Lakshmi has installed herself therein. Money is demanded and being paid for admitting a child to the school, for testifying that he has attended the required number of classes, for accepting his application to sit for the exam, for declaring him to have passed it, and to certify that he has secured the desired number of marks. The entire field of education has thus been degraded and disorganized, causing incalculable harm to the country's prospects in the coming years. End of part 1 of 2, Rajkot, Gujarat, April 1st, 1973.